Back again with another lesson for you. Uh, I know these lessons take a while sometimes for me to post them up there, but I'm not posting no. I can't. I just spend too much. Sometimes I think I overthink these lessons, but I just be wanting them to be good as possible so that y'all get the most out of it that you possibly can. I was looking at a young man today on YouTube. Him and his wife left a Hebrew camp, I guess, because something about I don't know why people keep thinking that we under the New Testament, we under this new covenant. We're not under the new covenant yet. But right now we betrothed to the Mashiach. That's what it is. It's we waiting with our oil filled with our lamps filled with oil, so waiting on our husband to come pick us up so we can go to the wedding feast. Man, we haven't been married to him yet. We just betrothed, but it's okay. Uh, I hope he doesn't give up, and I hope that he just keeps praying, do some fasting, and try to find his way. And one thing, y'all, especially y'all younger folks, when y'all go to some of these camps, they ain't gonna be no different than these churches. You're gonna have folks in there that's trying to do right, and you're gonna have the devil gonna be up in there too. So you just gotta realize that you're only there for to try to learn so that it'll help your walk. And that's what this class is kind of about. You can't watch people. Watching people to get you, uh, you'll miss the kingdom. So let's get started with this. All right, the Sons of the Stone Bible Study class presents the parable of the sower of seeds. And so we need to understand this. I wish I could talk to that brother because I sure would be able to help him, but it is what it is. So don't be swallowed by strange doctrine. All right, we're supposed to study to show ourselves approved for ourselves. Not what's it's good to go to a place. It's good to watch these lessons, but it's on you. You got to be able to stay filled with the Spirit so that she'll reveal these things to you. When you hear something that's wrong right away, you're gonna know. Like, wait a minute, where you get that from? And you need to go start looking stuff up because he might be right. What is a parable? Ecclesiastes 12:9. And moreover, because the preacher was wise, he still taught the people knowledge. Yea, he gave good heed and sought out and set in order many proverbs. Right? So riddle to the unlearned. So that's what a parable is. A state expressing general truth, but it's general truth, but it's also a riddle to the unlearned. Because you'll hear people say, "Oh, I read the Bible 100 times, and it's just a book." Yeah, I guess you didn't take the steps that you needed to be filled with the Ruach, and to you, it's just gonna be a riddle. It's gonna be a lot of things you don't understand. Well, that seems like that's not right. It's contradicting itself. No, you just haven't done enough research to put it together. This book never contradicts itself. We just had to do the research, baby. You got to do the digging. So Strong's number 84912. Miyasa, Masa. It's a proverb, a parable, right? Proverbial saying, aphorism, a byword, a similitude, right? Sometimes it comes in a poem, the form of a poem. Sentences of ethical wisdom, ethical maxims. So let's keep rolling. Right? A pithy observation that contains a general truth such as if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's what an aphorism is. A proverb, which is a noun, a short pithy, saying in general use, stating a general truth or piece of advice. And trust me, it's recommended. So, Mark 4. And he began again to teach by the seaside, and there was gathered unto him a great multitude, so that he entered into a ship and sat in the sea. And the whole multitude was by the sea on the land. And he taught them many things by parables, and said unto them in his doctrine, right? Because we know there was another doctrine out there, the Pharisees' doctrine, and so many other doctrines like it is today. Hearken, behold, they went out of sower to sow. It came to pass as he sowed, some fell by the wayside. And the fowls of the air came and devoured it up. Some fell on stony ground where it had not much earth, and immediately it sprang up because it had no depth of earth. It came up real. Oh man, this word is so good. But when the sun was up, it was scorched, and because it had no root, it withered away. When the test came, it couldn't take it. Some fell among thorns, and the thorns grew up and choked it, and yielded no fruit. Your family members, your friends, people are just around you, just scoffers. And others fell on good ground and did yield fruit that sprang up and increased, and brought forth some 30, some 60, some 100. And he said unto them, he that has ears to hear, let him hear. So we see the different type of people that come into this walk. See, because you got to have a made up mind for this. And you got to understand, this is not church. You are going to go through some tests. Some of them going to be simple. Some of them going to be complicated. But you just got to always look back to your source of power. Right? Ab Yahuwah. Let's keep rolling. Now, the purpose of the parable. And when he was alone, those around him with the 12 asked him about the parables. And he said to them, to you has been given the secret of the kingdom of Elohim. But for those outside, everything is in parables, so that they may indeed see, but not perceive, and may indeed hear, but not understand, lest they should turn and be forgiven. So he's talking about these Pharisees. You got to understand, when you this thing ain't for everybody's not going to be chosen for the foundation of the world. Some people was chosen just for or born just for evil. You know what I'm saying? You might even run across that person as part of one of your tests to see how strong your relationship is with the Father. See, and these Pharisees, he didn't want them to understand because he knew how wicked they were, right? And he knew half of them wasn't Hebrews anyway. He didn't want them. So it's like they ain't getting in the kingdom no way. So it's not for them to understand. That's why whenever they was around, he was talking in parables. But if you really start paying attention to the Gospels, you always had somebody that understood. Excuse me. Always had somebody that understood. Right? Because he said, but to as many of them, right, that believed, they became the sons of Elohim. So it's not everybody, it's not for everybody. And we have to realize that. We can't force this thing down people's throat because they might be a swine. You don't know. Give them the word and you keep it moving. We're going to see that. Let's keep going. So, and he said to them, do not understand. He said, do you not understand this parable? How then will you understand all the parables? The sower sows the word, and these are the ones along the path where the word is sown. When they hear, Hasatan immediately comes and takes away the word that is sown in them. You think he wants you to get in this thing? No, he does not. That's his whole mission, is to take as many of his enemy, which is us, and the Elohim, right, that he was a part of, because he hates the Father, definitely hates the Son. This is what's happening. And these are the ones sown on rocky ground, the ones who, when they hear the word, immediately receive it with joy. You know what I mean? Oh, man, I found out I'm a Hebrew. All these things, man, all this time they've been telling me. Oh, I thought it was them people over there crying on that wall. But it happens to be us. I see this now. Wow. All right? They happy. But then, and they have no root in themselves. See, they don't have like that young man I was talking about. I could tell that he wasn't. He was brand new in the thing, and so they that because they was talking about this women. This one was wearing this. You can't wear that. You can't eat this. You got to keep that. I mean, there's only two things I could say. Either you didn't really understand what you was getting into, or you might need to go back to the Sunday church, right? Or I'll say another thing: do some research before you make a video like that. But he don't have no understanding. Because you might be pushing somebody. They already have enough of these paid agents up here acting a fool and doing all these things, trying to keep the people away from this thing. And they have no root in themselves, but endure for a while. Then, when tribulation or persecution arises on account of the word, immediately they fall away. So you got to be strong in this thing, right? You got to have your armor on. I mean, the Father gives us so much information to show us that we're supposed to be like a soldier. And the soldier endures everything. I know we used to be out there in the field or whatever. It might be raining, we standing out there. It might be snowing some of the place. I mean, it might be nasty, but guess what? You out there training or you out there handling their business, basically what it really is. But this is how different. How much different should it be for eternal life? How much different should it be if you're trying to do the works in the will of your Father? You got to endure. Don't give up. So the mind is your greatest enemy, not half the time. See, sometimes we get in our thoughts and we start thinking all these things and this ain't right and that ain't right instead of trying to seek the Father in prayer, you see, and then pick up that book, cut that TV off, leave them family members alone, turn that phone off, cut that all these other distractions and start seeking him diligently. And he already promised you he's going to give you the answer. Jeremiah 17:9, the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? So you can't trust your own mind. You got to search the Father out. And he's going to give you the answer. Keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. So your mind is either going to cause you to end up in the place of death, or it's gonna help you end up in the place of life. But you got to put something in your spirit, right, for the ruach to bring it back to your memory, to help you keep staying strong, keep your gas tank full. See, trust in Yahweh with all your mind. Learn not on your own, lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, submit to him, and he will make your path straight. He gonna give you the answer. I promise you, he will. He definitely will. But you got to understand this, and you got to believe it, right? This mind, our mind is something else. Ooh wee, boy, your mind can have you thinking all kind of things, right? Because I got that PTSD thing real bad. I mean, sometimes I got to check myself because I be like, if somebody look at me a certain way, or, I'll be like, is he trying to kill me? Then I start thinking about, okay, maybe I need to do this. And I'm like, wait a minute, what are you doing? So we can't trust our mind. We got to trust the word of Yahuwah. And we got to seek him diligently. And he'll reveal it to you. But you got to be diligent about it. So, opposition from the world is going to happen. There's no doubt about that. Your family and friends, even strangers, will hate you because they hated him and you reside in him. And it's always going to be a test, no matter what, because the book tells us that Yahuwah tests us continually. So it doesn't matter who he uses to see if you're worthy of all these great things that he has for us, that he told us, even in our little pea minds and pea brains, we can't even conceive. So that's why sometimes it's going to seem unbearable, but it's going to be worth it if you really believe it, right? Matthew 10:34. So let's see what the Mashiach. Do not think that I have come to bring peace to the earth. I have not come to bring peace, but a sword. For I have come to set a man against his father, and a daughter against her mother, and a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And a person's enemies will be those of his own household. Mama, you know what? I found this new thing. Boy, what you talking about? How come you ain't eating no pork chop? I can't do that no more. What's wrong? You were raised on this stuff. You know what? You better eat that food. Whoever loves father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. Whoever loves son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. And whoever does not take his cross and follow me is not worthy of me. See, there's pain involved in this thing. Whoever finds his life will lose it. And whoever loses his life for my sake will find it. And that is one of the most powerful, that Matthew 10:39. Oh man, that thing is strong. That's what it's going to take. So, and others are the ones sown among thorns. They are those who hear the word, but the cares of the world and the deceitfulness of riches and the desires for other things enter in and choke the word. It proves unfruitful. And I've seen so many people come in this thing, and if they had a good job, they riding a fat car, all the things that we worry about, the stupid things that when we die we can't take them with us. And then they come in this thing, and all of a sudden, well, I need to be off on the ship. Well, you need to be off on the. Okay, you got to make a choice, sir. Either you're gonna work here, you're gonna do what we say, or you can go find yourself another job. A matter of fact, you know what? In Georgia, for especially, they can just get rid of you for no reason. They don't have to have a reason, not at all. So we got to be able to stand. And so people start losing material things, and I've heard this. I mean, this is not like something that with my own ears. Well, man, when we was in church, we didn't go through all this stuff. This is crazy. My bills is out of control now. I don't know what to do, man. I mean, it's like I got holes in my pocket. You know what I mean? It's messing with my career. I mean, I went to this college, and I paid this much money, and I'm making good money right now. I can't afford to lose this. And then the kids, I want to study, but the kids are just driving me crazy. And by the time I get up, feed them, get them off to school, go to work, come home, I don't have no time to do nothing. You better find some time. Okay, you got to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. Get up at 3. Get up at 4. Train yourself to do that. Get up and handle the Father's business. And you trust me. That's one of the ways that you what? That you seek Him hard. You diligently seek Him. That's what it's gonna take, because the cares of this world ain't gonna stop. Deceitfulness of riches is gonna be there, and bills is gonna steady come. You just gotta trust in Him to put you in the right place, and He will do that. This is facts. For thus says Yahweh to the men of Judah and Jerusalem: break up your fallow ground and sow not among thorns. See, you got to get that ground ready to be planted with some good seed, so the roots go deep. So when the sun come and the water come, you're gonna be strong, right? You're gonna bring forth some fruit. See, so this word "break up" is Strong's number H5214. In the ear, to break up, freshly plow or till. See? Hosea 10 and 12. Sow to yourself in righteousness, reap in mercy. Break up your fallow ground, for it is time to seek Yahuwah till He come and rain righteousness upon you. And this is what it's time for. And y'all should be able to see in this world all these crazy events that's been going on. Weather ain't nothing safe no more. It's time to seek Yahuwah. Right? So we got to get on our job so we can do that, to make the seed grow and bring forth fruit. That's the whole key. Because we're going to go up here and put up it's all these parables always have truth in them. You understand what I'm saying? General truth. And so this is what this is showing you. I wasn't going to do this class today. I had something else in mind, but Spirit kept saying, no, I'll put that up there. You're going to have it for months and months, because I got an arsenal. I just like to go over them and make sure that I see something, then I find out something else, because that's just how this word is. You're always going to find out something. That's just how it is. You'll never master this word. Fret not yourself, for Psalms 37, because of evildoers. Be not envious of wrongdoers. I don't worry about how they look like they living. I left here 33 years ago, came back to my hometown. And all the people, all the slick guys, all the gangsters, all the ones that was rolling hard, had all the women, they dead. And the rest of them on walkers, and they sick. And a lot of them is walking. They on bikes. See, you got to understand, so don't even pay attention to that. For they will soon fade like the grass and wither like the green herb. Trust in Yahuwah and do what He said. Do His will, which is good. Dwell in the land and befriend faithfulness. See? Delight yourself in Yahuwah. Be happy. Oh man, I got hurt to go to sleep. I can't wait to get up and read this word. And we give you the desires of your mind. Commit your way to Yahweh, trust in him, and he will act. He will bring forth your righteousness as the light and your justice as the noonday. Be still before Yahweh and wait patiently for him. Look for him, search for him. This is what he's saying. Fret not yourself over the one who prospers in the way, over the man who carries out evil devices. Don't worry about what these folks is doing, because we see this is why these kids is out of control and killing each other now. Because they hear some rap songs. These devils put these rappers in front of you, these entertainers, and they standing in front of these cars with all these clothes and this other foolishness. You know what I'm saying? And then you give him about another after he don't have no more use for him. Now he take everything from him, put him in prison, or they broke down somewhere suffering, asking you to give a donation to help them because they don't even have insurance. It's evident. But if you hold on to Yahuwah, he'll take care of all your needs, everything. You will never have to want for nothing. Again, I'm telling you what it is. I'm just giving you. I'm a witness for what's been in my life. Refrain from anger and forsake wrath. We supposed to be humble. Fret not yourself. It tends only to evil. Don't get all upset and I'm jealous. I'm envious. For the evildoer shall be cut off. They gonna be gone. But those who wait for Yahweh shall inherit the land. In just a little while the wicked will be no more. Though you look carefully at his place, he will not be there. And I just got done telling you that. I ran into a cat another cat, I ain't gonna call his name, that I haven't seen in years. And he was like, man, it's so good to see you because so many of us in our time, they been gone. He said, yo, cuz they been gone. But the meek shall inherit the land and delight themselves in abundant peace. That's going to be the kingdom. The wicked plots against the righteous and gnashes his teeth at him, right? Because he can't stand us. We got to realize that's why he told you, mother, sister, brother, whoever, if they ain't walking in these commandments, in my mind, I don't trust, I can't, well, I don't trust no man. But I definitely don't trust them, and I know how they feel about me. They might not say it, but all you got to do is watch their facial expressions. But Yahuwah laughs at the wicked, for he sees that his day is coming. Because we all got to stand before that judgment seat. You just got to make sure that you sowed some good seeds and that you walked in faithfulness. That's the key right there, baby. That is the key. So, the wicked draw the sword and bend their bows to bring down the poor and needy. And people are seeing this now. These people don't care nothing about you. To slay those whose way is upright. If they don't care about veterans and they don't care about homeless people that's here and they paying billions of dollars all over the place and bringing folks over here to work in their plants. So if you a Jake, you a Hebrew, you know they don't care about you. But we got this mindset like I'm an American. No, you not. The sword shall enter their own heart, and their bow shall be broken. Better is the little that the righteous has than the abundance of many wicked. If you ain't got that much, you walking. So what? You got Yahuwah. I guarantee all your needs is met. You might don't need no car because you might not know how to act with the car. For the arms of the wicked shall be broken, but Yahuwah upholds the righteous. Yahuwah knows the days of the blameless, and their heritage will remain forever. See, because our heritage is the Mashiach, which is going to get us the kingdom. They are not put to shame in evil times. So when all these other things is happening to other folks, it won't be happening to those that remain, right, blameless. And the days of famine, they'll have abundance. I can tell you so much about that too, but I'm not even gonna go there. Let's keep going. But those that were sown on the good soil are those ones who hear the word and accept it and bear fruit 30-fold, 60-fold, and 100-fold. You out here teaching this thing. You out here, and then sometimes you ain't gotta do that. You ain't gotta say nothing. You just get on your little job, and you've been studying, and you know what's going on. You ain't in their conversation. You ain't eating with them. You ain't talking with them. Trust me, some of them gonna be thinking that he think he better than everybody else, but somebody gonna be like, man, what you into, man? You know what's happening with you, man? You a different type of cat. Boom. Now here go your chance to try to bring you a little fruit ahead or forward. You feel me? That's what it is. So deep roots, well watered, and sunshine. That's what we need to be. And it takes work. It just ain't gonna hand it to you. You ain't gonna just get up and go on the Sabbath class and now I'm on Sabbath class and you ain't studying nothing, you ain't reading nothing. You get assignments. Your teacher give you some assignments you don't even do. And so it takes work. It takes dedication. This is supposed to be the most important thing in your life. That's why you got life. See, the good soul refers to person's willingness to really listen and the gift of really understanding what he says. The good ground portrays the one who hears, understands, and receives the word. How do you know he receives it? Right? And because he allows the word to accomplish its result in his life. The good soul is someone who has heard and received the word of Elohim and allows it to take root and grow within his life. This sword represents those who hear the gospel and follow Yahusha. So when we look at this strong tower, right, Luke 6:48, he is like a man which built a house and dig deep, and laid the foundation on a rock. And when the flood arose, the stream beat vehemently upon that house and could not shake it, for it was founded upon the rock. So the rock and the high tower and the light it omits all three elements. And I'm not talking about no Trinity. I'm just telling you, we have the Ruach, you have the Father in here. The Father is the rock. Yeah, Christ is a rock as well, but he's a chip off the old block. The tower, the strong tower, is the Mashiach, because that's who you go run to for safety. And he's standing on the Father. Then you got the light that comes out of it. That's the Ruach. That's why he gave you this analogy. Let's keep rolling. So stay with clean hands and Job 17:9. The righteous also shall hold on his way. So you got to have a strong grip on this thing. And he that have clean hands shall be stronger and stronger. You're supposed to get stronger and stronger and stronger, not weaker. And if you find yourself, falling back, you got to fight your way back. Whatever it takes, you got to fight your way back. Protect yourself from sinfulness. You got to stay with the clean hands. And the only way you're going to do that is commandments and some of these other tools that has been put out here to help you get back on the path. But you got to be humble enough to realize that. And when somebody tell you something, you got to be able to understand what they try. Because if they telling you something about you, you might have somebody that's older than you, or they might not be old. It might be a young cat. Be like, Elder, why are you doing this, man, bro? Huh? You know what I mean? I'm the elder. Nah, bro. Because, see, when you do things like that, you ain't an elder, you just old. You see what I'm saying? We got to take that constructive criticism, and sometimes like people like to give it, but they don't like to hear it. But if it's wisdom, or if me, I like to listen to what people tell me, because how do I know that Yahoo ain't giving them a word for me? And that's how you stay humble. Then you say, you know what? After you analyze it, you go through whatever you're going through, you say, man, you know what? A righteous man gonna fall a lot of times. Man, let me get up and dust myself off and keep it moving. And that's what it's all about. So, O afflicted one, storm tossed and not comforted. Behold, I will set your stones in um, antimony and lay your foundations with sapphire. This is Isaiah 54. I will make your pinnacle of a gate, your gates of carbuncles, and all your wall of precious stones. All your children shall be taught by Yahweh, and great shall be the peace of your children. In righteousness you shall be established. You shall be far from oppression, for you shall not fear, and far from terror, for it shall not come near you. Why? Because he's the one that stops it or sends it anyway. If anyone stirs up strife, it is not from me. Whoever stirs up strife with you shall fall because of you. So don't fret about nothing. Behold, I have created a smith who blows a fire of coals and produces a weapon for its purpose. I have also created a ravager. He's a waster to destroy. That's Hasatan. No weapon that is fashioned against you shall succeed if you walking with him, and you shall refute every tongue that rises against you in judgment. This is the heritage of the servants of Yahuwah, and their vindication from me, declares Yahuwah. See, the set apart ones, no matter what it looks like, hang on. Do what you got to do, no matter what it takes. Because this is a promise from him, y'all. He's the one that, if he's the one that makes the good and the evil, what you worried about either one of them for? Just do what the one that can just give you life or destroy you tells you. It seems like it's simple, but it's not. Sometimes. Matthew 13 and 34. I'm feeling good. Praise Yah. The Shabbat finna come in. Yahshua spoke all these things to the crowd in parables. He did not say anything to them without using a parable. So was fulfilled what was spoken through the prophet. I will open my mouth in parables. I will utter things hidden since the creation of the world. Then he left the crowd and went into the house, and his disciples came to him and said, Explain to us the parable of the weeds of the field. And he answered, The one who sowed the good seed is the Son of Man. The field is the world, and the good seed stands for the kingdom, or the people of the kingdom. The weeds are the people of the evil one, and the enemy who sows them is the Hasatan, or the devil, which is both his adversary. The harvest is the end of the age, and the harvesters and are the messengers. See? So one thing we got to make sure, when you got a good garden, you don't want to mess around and be a weed, and be not conformed, because a weed is conformed to this world. But be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Only way you can do that is seeking the Father diligently, praying, fasting, and getting in this book. That you may prove what is that good, because you got to be able to prove what you say, and acceptable and perfect will of Elohim. That's how you're going to find out what you was created for. We got a class coming up on that about Samson. We're going to give you some examples. But whatever you was created for, trust me, you're going to do it. That's going to be a good class. Let's keep rolling. We must be fit for use, from the Father's use. Right? We got to be fit for the Father's use. Isaiah 61 and 4. And the foundations of the threshold shook, and the voice of him who called, and the house was filled with smoke. And I said, Woe is me, for I am lost. For I am a man of unclean lips. So it sounds like he like to talk crazy and swear, and like we hear this all the time in our community. And I dwell in the midst of people of unclean lips, because they all wicked too. For my eyes have seen the King, Yahweh of hosts. Then one of the seraphim flew to me, having in his hand a burning coal that he had taken with tongs from the altar. And he touched my mouth and said, Behold, this has touched your lips. Your guilt is taken away, and your sin atoned for. So let's get your mind right, brother. Go on, get your mind together. All right? So let's look at Paul. Paul quotes Moshe. You're going to see this Roman. For Moses writes about the righteousness that is based on the law. See Romans 10 and 5. That the person who does the commandments shall live by them. Of course you have. You should live by them, because that means that you believe them and you walking in them. But the righteousness based on faith says, do not say in your heart, who will ascend into the heavens? That is to bring Christ down. Who will descend into the abyss? That is to bring Christ up from the dead. Because only the Father was the one that raised up the Son, baby. Nobody else could do it. He had to trust that the Father would do that. Why you think he was sweating, and his sweat was dropping like droplets of blood? Because that flesh was like, I don't want to do this. But he had to trust that the Father was going to resurrect him. But what does it say? The word is near you. It's all over the place. It's at grandma's house. Some of y'all got it in the back of your car. You on YouTube, all kind of information up there. That is the word of faith that we proclaim. Because if you confess with your mouth that Yahusha is sovereign and believe in your heart, well, what do you mean believe? I say, I believe. Do you really? Because if you believe, you're going to do what he say. That's what that means. That he said, if you love me, that's belief. Keep my commandments. That Elohim raised him from the dead, you will be saved. See, so, but that's people, but again, this could be a parable to people. They be like, no, I believe Christ came, and I believe in my heart. Okay, well, don't you know you got the feast day coming? No, we don't have to do that no more. We under the new covenant. What? Praise God. Deuteronomy 30 and 10. If thou shalt hearken unto the voice of Yahuwah thy Elohim, this is where you got it from, to keep his commandments and statutes which are written in this book of the law, and if thou turn unto Yahuwah thy Elohim with all thy mind and with all thy soul, with everything you got. See, that's why this is supposed to be the most important thing in your life. For this commandment which I command thee this day, see, it is not far away from you. See, it is not hidden from you. Neither is it far off. This is all Paul is quoting. But did you notice? He said, what did he tell you? To keep his commandments and his statutes. See? But if I keep you out the old part of the book and you just read the new part, you don't have a clue. People I like the New Testament with something brand new. It is, well, actually it was, because I mean, when you really look at it, they didn't have no New Testament then. They was reading out of the prophets, the law and the prophets. It is not in heaven that thou should say, who shall go up for us to the heaven and bring it unto us that we may hear it and do it. That's what the brother just got done reading that in Romans. Neither is beyond the sea that thou should say, who shall go over the sea for us and bring it unto us that we may hear it and do it. Really? That's what they say now, y'all. Ain't it really? Deuteronomy 30 and 14. But the word is very nigh unto thee, in thy mouth and in thy heart, that thou mayest do it. See, it's a way. You're supposed to eat the whole scroll all the time. It depends on what you love more. See, I have set before thee this day life and good, death and evil. And that I command thee this day to love Yahuwah thy Elohim, to walk in his ways, and to keep his commandments and his statutes and his judgments, that thou mayest live and multiply. Now you a vine, but guess what? You're going to multiply, because you're going to start having little buds, and then I hear you bringing apples or you bringing grapes, whatever he created you to be. And Yahuwah thy Elohim shall bless thee, and the land whither thou goest to possess it. If we just would listen to that, we would be all right. We just don't believe this. But if thine heart shall turn away, so that thou wilt not hear, but shall be drawn away, and worship other gods and serve them. For there is no distinction between Jew and Greek, for the same sovereign is sovereign over all, bestowing his riches on all who call upon him. Now, is this talking about the Gentile Greek, or is this talking about the Greek or the Hebrews that turned into Greeks that was coming back? For everyone who calls, but then he clarifies some things. For everyone who calls on the name of Yahuwah will be saved. So when you calling, that means you already submitted. He gonna hear you. The submission is involved in this. How then will they call on him who they have not believed? And how are they to believe in him who they have never heard? Because these people was coming back from the captivity from when the Syrians had put them out there. They coming back. They had forgot all these things. Just like here in America and in England and France, wherever we at, we all whatever they are. That's what we are. And how are they to hear without someone preaching? And how are they to preach unless they are sent? So you got a lot of these preachers, they ain't sent. They tell you ain't got to do this and what you ain't got to do. But when you read the scriptures, the Father is telling you what he expects, as it is written. How beautiful are the feet of those who preach the good news. But they have not all obeyed the gospel. So they done made the gospel something else. The gospel is repent and keep the commandments. John the Baptist was the greatest prophet according to the Mashiach. That's what he was saying. He was getting you ready for when here come the walking commandments in the flesh. For Isaiah says, sovereign, who has believed what he has heard from us? So faith comes from hearing, and hearing through the word of Mashiach. But how can you hear if you ain't got nobody teaching you nothing? And I feel sorry for them folks, man, because I know where they at, and I can't say that because the brother got the knowledge. But I mean, I'm wondering, are you watching everybody else and you not receptive to this thing? My mind, just from age and just from wisdom and being just from studying and trying to find this book out for years, they on some fleshly stuff right now. And so I just pray that y'all bring him out of that. See, because adoption. So the word call is Strong's number G 1941. See, the King James translates strong in the following manner. Call on, be one, to be surnamed. See, like Jacob's name was changed, Abraham's name was changed, showing that he belonged to the Father. Call upon, appeal unto, appeal to. See, if this thing really appeals to you, you're gonna search it out. See, an expression finding its explanation in the fact that prayers addressed to Elohim ordinarily begin with an invocation of the divine name. You got to know that name. And he said, "Thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel. For as a prince has thou power with Elohim and with men, and has prevailed." Why? Because the hand of Yahuwah is going to be in front of him, making sure that he prevails. You feel me? You see? All right. So adoption. This is what we're looking for. Adoption as sons. That relationship with Elohim was pleased to establish between himself and the Israelites in preference to all other nations. The nature and condition of the true disciples of Christ, who by receiving the spirit of Elohim until their souls become the sons of Elohim. The blessed state looked for in the future life after the visible return of Christ. So whoever shall call on him. See, if you calling on him, you preferring him, you looking for him. Romans 8:23. And not only they, but ourselves also, which have the first fruits of the Spirit. Even we ourselves grown within ourselves, waiting for the adoption, to wit, the redemption of our body. See, we're not supposed to be like, well, I can't wait, no, because we got all these terrible things. He tells us that. Don't rush this thing. But then deep down, if you really tired of old people getting beat, you really tired of seeing your neighborhood ran over, you really tired of the drive-by shootings, these crazy folks shooting up folks' house that they did nothing to nobody. They and these babies getting shot. Then all your politicians, they stealing and robbing you. If you tired of all these things, then it is what it is. Cause if you walking in this thing, you like looking like, man, this can't be gonna take long. Cause this thing is out of control. And it's just the tip of the iceberg, y'all. It's gonna get so bad, it's gonna be unbelievable. And folks tell me you need to prep. Prepping ain't gonna help you. You gonna run out of food if they don't break in your house and take it. The only bottom you don't have nobody. The only thing we got is Yahoo. You see how they just laid off, what was it, 17,000 people or something like that from Tyson plant? Then they go to New York and get the immigrants because that's why they letting them in. Because I can't do this unless I have $22 an hour. Oh, okay. So then we're gonna raise the interest when we give it to you to punish you. But guess what? Now we already had a secret plan, a secret meeting. We're gonna bring these immigrants in, and we're gonna go get them, and we're gonna give them lawyers, we're gonna give them school, we're gonna give them housing. This is what they doing right now. In case some of y'all didn't know that. So don't get all caught up in your job because if it's a manufacturing job or something like that, you might not be on it long. All slaves of the king are surnamed. See, because what did Paul said? Paul told you he was a slave. We all slaves. So when you look at, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, right? The chief chamberlain changed their names. Daniel, Belshazzar, Hananiah to Shadrach, Mishael to Meshach, and Azariah to Abednego. See, that's how you know you belong to somebody. So the book already told us some of us is going to be changing our names, right? So that's what we trying to be, Israel. No matter what you look like, no matter who you are, you got to be spiritual now. That's why a lot of people don't understand this new covenant. You know, it's all about the spiritual man. You go to Revelation, it's going to tell you all those souls he saw up under the throne. They couldn't be numbered. You know what I'm saying? And all kind of tongues, all kind of people. And it goes on to tell you they're going to be the priests. And I'm not saying that Israel does not have I'm not talking about Isaiah 49 because I know some of y'all gonna go there. Isaiah 19. I get that. Because I believe that. All I'm telling you is you better be spiritual. You better have your lamp filled with oil if you want to get in this kingdom, period. Because just who you are ain't going to cut it. That's why, because think about it. All these years, Jacob has been acting a fool, not listening. He go, help me, Father, help him. They go back to help me, Father, help him. They go right back to wickedness. Help us. He got tired of that. So when he sent the Mashiach, it was like that's why that's once and for all thing has a lot of meanings behind it. Isaiah 44. But now hear, O Jacob, my servant, Israel, whom I have chosen. Thus says Yahweh who made you, who formed you from the womb and will help you. Fear not, O Jacob, my servant. O Jacob, my servant. So what if you is Jacob and you ain't his servant? Do you belong to him? I don't think so. Jeshurun, whom I have chosen, for I will pour water on the thirsty land and streams on the dry ground. I will pour my spirit upon your offspring and my blessing on your descendants. They shall spring up among the grass like willows by flowing streams. This one will say, I am Yahuwah's. Another will call on the name of Jacob, and another will write on his hand Yahuwah's and name himself by the name of Israel. We see this all over the place. So, and according to the scripture, it's gonna be a time. Yeah, he know who belong to him. He gonna make sure. You know what I mean? Because some of the things that's gonna get ready to happen, it's gonna that's what it's gonna take for Jacob. I'm talking about physical Jacob to snap out of it. He gonna have to take all this foolishness away from you. And then you gonna, cause you ain't gonna have nobody else to call on, cause the government you believe on, they ain't for they. You can see they don't care. You just had these cops just grab up these two black guys and do all these things to shoot them in the mouth and all, beat them and tase them and all this other stuff. And they calling themselves the goon squad. See how many goon squads could be out here right now? See, that's what we gotta understand. This country does not love us. And when I like to say it that way, because I mean I deal with all kind of people. Everybody's mind is not like that. Some people is I know some Gentiles that's really trying to get this thing more than a whole lot of us. You see what I'm saying? If they keep walking in the way, they're gonna get in the kingdom. If we don't repent and turn to our Father who made a covenant with us, the reason why we going through all this pain, we not gonna get in there. Period. So being because you look Israel, that just don't save. We must first be taught acceptable words. That's how we find out what to do. Rightly divided by the word of truth. See, this book is on fire because it's His word, and this is what we need. Jeremiah 23 and 29 is not my word like a fire, says Yahuwah, and like a hammer that breaketh the rock in pieces. This is what's going to help us. This is what's going to bring us out of all these abuses and stuff like they doing to us, And if people pay attention, you got folks that they bringing every Chinese people, everybody coming, these Haitians coming over here. They beating them on horseback. They lying on national TV saying they're not doing these things. People producing the films. They don't want them over here, and that has a lot to do. It has a lot of history behind that. But you don't. But trust me, they really know who they are because they know that these people are rebellious. We can't break them. They're gonna do what they want to do. See, and that's how we are here in America too. It's sort of the same way, right? But y'all gonna make it so you're gonna be looking for them. And because the preacher was wise above others, so it was that he taught man excellent knowledge, and the ear will trace out the parable. See, so when you got that ruach and you can hear right, oh man, it makes sense. The preacher sought diligently, see that word, to find out acceptable words. That's what we're supposed to do. And a correct writing, even words of truth. This is what we're looking for, y'all. The words of the wise are as gold and as nails firmly fastened, which have been given from one shepherd by agreement. See, so that you got here, you build you a brick wall, you better have you better have that mortar mixed right. You see what I'm saying? It got to be daubed right, because otherwise the wall gonna fall down. See, gold is helps fasten. And moreover, my son, guard thyself by means of them, of making many books. There is no end, and much study is a weariness of the flesh. What is he talking about? He ain't talking about this. He ain't talking about the Torah. We got to be careful. You know how many people I see they get a hold of these pseudo apocryphas and they go crazy. Look, if it ain't in the Dead Sea, if you can't find that it was some fragments was in the Dead Sea Scroll or something like that, man, leave them books alone. The Gospel of Rebecca, man, come on with that. But people do this, and it wearies them, and it's much, oh man, they just trying to search it. Take your time, ask the Father what to do. The Spirit gonna give you everything you need. It's gonna give it to you, because there ain't no respect of persons. Hear the end of the matter. The Son, fear Elohim and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. For Elohim will bring every work into judgment with everything that has been overlooked, whether it be good whether it be evil, you're going to answer for it. See? But this is what we got instead. Eh? People that ain't teaching us how to fashion the goals, how to build nothing. It's unbelievable. Now, all of a sudden, all this stuff starting to come out. You start to find out these cats is homosexual behind the scenes and all this. And y'all been paying these folks and giving them money and believing in them because you ain't getting no word and you ain't studying nothing. So it's easy for them to deceive you, right? We almost finished, y'all. So the LXX 2 Jeremiah 23, also in the prophets of Jerusalem, I have seen horrible things, as they committed adultery and walked in lies and strengthened the hands of many, that they should not return each from his evil way. They are all become to me as Sodom, and the inhabitants thereof as Gomorrah. Wickedness is prevailing all over this earth. They say to them that reject the word of Yahuwah, there shall be peace to you, and to all that walk after their own lusts, and to everyone that walks in the error of his mind, they have said, no evil shall come upon thee. Look, man, do what you want to do. You in a new covenant. You all that stuff. You ain't got to forget about them feast days. You ain't got to wear nothing. Nah, man, you ain't got to listen, man. Christ paid it all. Ain't that what they tell you? For who has stood in the counsel of Yahweh and seen his word, who has hearkened and heard. So if you stand in his counsel, right, his doctrine, you're going to know better right away. And if you got to leave and go somewhere else, leave and go somewhere else. Maybe the Spirit wants you to do that. Or sometimes, like I say, just come get the class, fellowship with those that ain't crazy, be kind to everyone, even if they is crazy, and go home. I sent not the prophets, yet they ran. We still in Jeremiah. Neither spoke to them, yet they prophesied. But if they had stood in my counsel, and if they had hearkened to my words, then would they have turned my people from their evil practices. And this is what's wrong with us as a people. I am an Elohim nigh at hand, says Yahuwah, and not an Elohim afar off, right? Remember, the word is near you, in your mouth, and in your heart. Shall anyone hide himself in secret places, and I not see him? Do I not feel the heaven and the earth, says Yahuwah? I have heard what the prophets say, what they prophesy in my name, saying falsely, I have seen a night vision. When they start talking about the Lord said to me, or you already know something wrong with that. One of my brothers got he got married to this. I love my sister-in-law, but he was like, well, she said that the Lord told her, because he all up in the. You can't tell him nothing about no commandments. You can't tell him nothing about no Shabbat, none of that. But she told me that the Lord said I'm supposed to be her husband. I said, well, did he say something to you? He just looked at me. He still married her anyway. But it is what it is. He got a good family. How long shall these things be in the heart of the prophets that prophesy lies, when they prophesy the purposes of their own heart? That's a heavy question right there. Who divides that men may forget my law by their dreams, which they have told everyone to his neighbor, as their fathers forgot my name in the worship of Baal. We see that today too. Well, I speak English. I don't have to know the name of Yahweh or Yahweh. I speak English. Okay. The prophet who has a dream, let him tell his dream. And he in whom is my word spoken to him, let him tell my word truly. What is the chaff to the corn? So are my words, says Yahuwah. Ooh, what is the chaff to the corn? Well, one is going to be harvested, and the other one is going to get thrown in the fire. Behold, are not my words as fire, says Yahuwah, and as an axe cutting the rock. I mean, it's all over this book about how his word is cold-blooded. Behold, I am therefore against the prophets, says Yahuwah Elohim, that steal my words, everyone from his neighbor. And that's a big problem with us. And it's a shame when seem like when you get in your 60s, 50s and 60s, you just cannot get this. If you ain't got it already, you're going to be in trouble. These young folks, they ain't never been to church and around all these church folks all their life, and they ain't never believed in these pastors. They out here doing what they. Most of them out here trying to feed themselves, because who knows the situation at home. But the fact is, man, my generation, it seems like it's almost impossible. It just seems that way. And I know it's not totally impossible, but if y'all ain't drawing them, It just ain't gonna happen. See? Because we had all these, especially when we came through these 60s, 70s, man, that messed a lot of us up. Behold, I am against the prophets, declares Yahuwah, who use their tongue and declares Yahuwah, right? Because the Lord told me, behold, I am against those who prophesied lying dreams. Because we know that's all this brother was, declared Yah. We found out later he was getting paid to lead the civil rights movement by some Jewish people, and who tell them and lead my people astray by their lies and their recklessness. When I did not send them or charge them, I didn't give them this job, so they do not profit this people at all, declares Yahuwah. And if this people or the priest or the prophet should ask, what is the burden of Yahuwah? Then thou shalt say to them, you are the burden, and I will dash you down, says Yahuwah. Because see, it's these black leaders that we believe in. And you now, y'all people see this. Here come this pimp Al Sharpton. He been playing that same game for years. All right? And we see them getting rewarded for this. But people in my generation, they really believe this. Now, these people still got pictures of this devil up in their house. As for the prophet and the priest and the people who shall say the burden of Yahuwah, I will even take vengeance on that man and on his house. See? So again, once he break us all away, because again, and don't get me wrong, when I made this statement about Israel, trust me, if you get in that kingdom, you know what I'm saying? If you a Hebrew and you get in the kingdom, oh my goodness. Yeah, you're gonna be a priest, but boy, you're gonna be ruling. You're gonna be calling some shots. See, but you got to be able to humble yourself now. But again, if you don't keep the commandments or you've never heard of the commandments and these other nations come in, these strangers or whatever, they going to get it. You can't stop them from getting it as long as, because he said one law for all. As long as they do what they got to do, they going to be there too. Let's keep rolling. Now, every good gift and every perfect gift is from above and cometh down from the Father of lights, with whom is no variableness, neither shadow of turning. All right. And this is James 1 and 17. Of his own will, he has begotten us with the word of truth. That's how we are born, by the word of truth. I'm born again. And if you ain't born by the word of truth, no, you ain't. That we should be a kind of first fruits of his creatures, because the Mashiach was the first fruits of all. Now we trying to be the first fruits, the next batch that leads up out of here. See, this is what we want. This is that we want to get reaped by the messengers when they come. Of his own will, he had begotten us with the word of truth. By his own will. It's an honor for him to pick us. It's an honor for him to think about us before we was created. To put out, you know what I mean? To choose us before the foundation of the earth. It's an honor. And so this is how we always got to think when we doing this. Like, and then you're not going to always do everything right, but you just got to keep fighting. This is the recipe for the first resurrection. But you got to endure. See? Proverbs 22 and 17. Bow down thy ear and hear the word of the wise. See, stop being all haughty and high up. Be humble and listen to what somebody telling you instead of telling them how long you've been in this world and what you know. Because you don't know nothing. You don't know this book. And apply thy heart to know my knowledge. Not what your pastor telling you, not what your grandmother telling you. My knowledge is what the Father is saying. For it is a pleasant thing if thou keepest them within thee. You're going to have a good life. You're going to have health. They shall withal be fitted in our lips. That's all you're supposed to be talking about. That thy trust may be in Yahuwah. I have made known to thee this day, even to you. This is what he's saying. I'm bringing this stuff to you. That's why I got these classes online. So I got these different people sitting up here trying to teach you what my counsel is. Have not I written to thee excellent things in counsel and knowledge, that I might make thee know that's the certainty of the words of truth, that thou mightest answer the words of truth to them that send to thee. So we got to be able to do that. We got to know this enough to help somebody else out. And that's what it all is, because when the death time comes, you know what I mean? What you gonna say when they question you before they kill you? Can you uphold truth to the death? Some of us gonna be tested like this now. You got to understand that. And please believe me, don't think that they don't know who you are. You up here on Zoom. You up here looking at these videos, the algorithms, and the AI now. AI just got on my on my computer without me even saying yeah. They know what you're looking at. They know what you're studying. They know who you believe in, and you can't hide from them because there's too many cameras all over the place. Right? Let's keep rolling. We almost done, y'all. You must continue in truth to be free. Hmm? Then Yahshua said to those Jews which believed on him, if you continue in my word, then are you my disciples indeed. And you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. You ain't going to have to guess because you got the counsel. Sanctify them in truth. Your word is true, so set them apart to the teaching, right? To the law and to the testimony, his words. If they will not speak according to this word, it is because they have no dawn, no light, no truth in them. So if they're not telling you you need the Old and the New Testament, get away from them. Get away from them. They ain't telling you, well, you got to follow what Moses said, what was given to Moses to give to the people. Then the Mashiach, he came, he was saying the same thing. You got to follow him too. That's the law and the testimony right there. So, return, O faithless children, declares Yahuwah, for I am your master. I will take you, one from a city and two from a family, that I will bring you to Zion. Right? You know how they say one gonna be in the, two people gonna be in the bed, one then two men will be in the field, one will be taken, one left. Two men will be grinding at the mill, one taken and one left. Now if you really look at this thing, you gotta see they out there, they working. See, the ones that's working is probably the most likely the ones that's gonna get taken. He answered me, the most high made this world for the sake of many, but the future world for the sake of few. That's second Esdras. So we got to understand this. This is what it's gonna come down to, and it's coming fast. Eternal life for all chosen. When Yahshua had spoken these words, he lifted up his eyes to heaven and said, Father, the hour has come. Glorify your Son, that the Son may glorify you, since you have given him authority over all flesh, to give eternal life to all whom you have given him. See, all that was given to him. You hearing this word, you following it, you trying to walk in Torah. Oh, you was given in the Mashiach. And this is eternal life, that they know you. See, the only true Elohim, and Yahushua HaMashiach, whom you have sent. I glorified you on earth. I did everything. I have accomplished the work that you gave to me to do. So we got work that we got to do. And now, Father, glorify me in your presence with the glory that I had with you before the world existed. And see, they got together and made up their mind. Okay, I'm gonna create him during this time, doing this thing. I'm gonna put this in him. I always knew I had something going on. I've been in. I've been in church all my life, but as a teenager, I was going to church. I had a Bible. Me and another brother used to walk from one end of the town to the other, trying to go to revivals. I've been chasing this thing for a long time. That was in the 70s. I have manifested your name to the people whom you gave me out of the world. See, yours they were, and you gave them to me. See, and they have kept your word. Now they know that everything that you have given me is from you, for I have given them words that you gave me. So it's the same thing. These things come from the Father, and they have received them and have come to know in truth that I came from you. But again, these wolves in sheep clothing got us thinking that the Mashiach is, he has all. They don't even mention the Father. You wouldn't even know that the Father had anything to do if you go to most of these churches and some of these Hebrew camps too, and they have believed that you sent me. Because some of these Hebrew camps don't even believe in the Mashiach. I am praying for them. I am not praying for what? I am not praying for the world, but for those whom you have given me, for they are yours. All mine are yours, and all yours are mine, and I am glorified in them. And I am no longer in the world, but they are in the world, and I am coming to you. Holy Father, keep them in your name, which you have given me, that they may be one, even as we are one. And that's why it's going to have to be, the millennium is going to have to happen. I mean, the wilderness, because we're going to have to be taught a lot of stuff, because as a people, we all messed up. We can't even get along. And we Hebrew camps, they arguing over foolishness. What you arguing for, man? We both be humble. Then he say, blessed are the meek. Sanctify them in the truth. Your word is truth. As you sent me into the world. So I have sent them into the world. And for their sake I consecrate myself, that they also may be sanctified in truth. So, you just sometimes you gotta stay away from certain things and certain people. I mean, you might have to cut yourself off. That's what I had to do. I mean, I had to cut myself off. You ain't trying to keep this word. I'll see you when I see you. I mean, that's just how I got to be. Because trust me, I had fell into that family trap. I was gone for all these years. Came back, yeah, my people. Man, them folks in my own family, they ain't thinking about me like that. They on something else. Give ear, O my people, to my teaching. Incline your ears to the words of my mouth. I will open my mouth in a parable. I will utter dark sayings from of old. So how you gonna know the dark sayings of old is if you ain't in the first part of the book? Huh? Things that we have heard and known that our fathers had told us. We will not hide them from their children, but tell to the coming generation. That's what we haven't been doing. That's why our kids is out of control. The glorious deeds of Yahweh and his might and the wonders that he has done. See? Strong's number 2420. Again, a parable is a riddle, difficult question, parable, enigmatic, saying or question, perplexing saying or question. But it's only perplexing to those that ain't walking in the spirit. See? That's the only ones that's confused. See? For Yahuwah Elohim does nothing without revealing his secrets to his servants and the prophets. You keeping his commandments, you a servant. He reveals deep and secret things. He knows what is in the darkness, and light dwells with him. I no longer call you servants because a servant does not know his master's business. Instead, I have called you what? Friends. For everything I have learned from my father, I have made known to you. And this is how it goes, baby. Real simple. But it's hard because it's a parable. It's Mashiach, and that's us. When someone was described as being yoked to someone or something, it was communicating the idea that he or she was in submission to that person or thing. So that's one of the first things we have to do is submit. Submit. I had to, like I say, I had to go ahead and put a yoke back on my neck. I'm up here with my man. That's why I hark on family and friends a lot, cause they ain't really your family. They ain't really your friends. They'll have you in the lake of fire so fast. He established a testimony in Jacob and appointed a law in Israel, which he commanded our fathers to teach to their children, that the next generation might know them, the children yet unborn. See? And arise and tell them to their children, so that they should set their hope in Elohim and not forget the works of Elohim, but keep his commandments, and that they should not be like their fathers, a stubborn and rebellious generation, a generation whose heart was not steadfast, whose spirit was not faithful to Elohim. We see this now. So, all I got to say at this point, I hope y'all enjoyed the class. I'm sorry if I got a little bit geeked up and everything, you know what I mean? I can't help it though, because I love this work. Y'all is doing he's working with me on some things, and I really appreciate him for that. So I'm very, very happy right now. And I just gotta do what I gotta do, just like y'all gotta do what y'all gotta do. So with that being said, thank you for your time. Ab Yahuwah, we come before you as always, thanking you for your mercy, because we know it endures forever. I ask, Father, that you remember Israel that's out here, Father, that just has lost their way. I ask that you send somebody to say something to them, Father, that might spark a light in them to start asking questions. I ask that you remember the stranger, Father, the one that's out here that don't even believe in you. Show him something, Father, to make him seek and thirst for you. We ask that you forgive us, Father, for our sins, transgressions, and iniquity. We also thank you for the Ruach HaKodesh that leads and guides us into all truth. The Mother Spirit that shows us love and chastises us when we need it. And also, Father, last but not least, for the ultimate love gift, Yahushua HaMashiach, the one and the only. Thank you for your time again. Father, we praise and magnify your name. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah.